Good evening YouTube, it's Purple Goats here, and I'm sure you're getting sick of this by now, but today I'm showing you a new BA deck. Yes, I know, this is like the 5th time I've shown this deck in class. But today it's a little different. I built a pure Go second build with a bunch of board breakers. But the reason I want to show this deck today is because I want to tell you guys a story of what happened at the event. Because I think I might have made Burning Abyss history last night. But we'll when we get to it. So let's start with that my monsters. For the non-BAs, we have tour guide, 2 tour guides, and a rhino. Which I think in the future I would play 3 tour guides because the cards destructed aren't as commonly played at the moment. Basically, these are how you extend if you've got a non-BA on board. And tour guide, obviously, if it's not interrupted, is pretty much a 1 card full BA combo going first, and helps you set up your board going second. So for the BAs, nothing special here. 3 Graph, 3 Seer. These are still, after all this time, the best Burning Abyss monsters. Graph summons from the deck upon destruction, and Seer adds 1 back to hand. Summons 1 on the field on destruction. So these are obviously how you grind in Study. But one thing I like about this deck is I built this deck to try to win fast by breaking a board, setting up a Zeus to whatever they brought out, then winning on the next turn. This is kind of like how Zodiac is currently played. The reason for that being, if you look at the current meta decks, most of them are either completely shut down BA in the grind, like Kashtira, or they'll be like Sprite, which can outgrind BA very easily. Because the truth of the matter is, it's been nearly 10 years, BA is very much power crept at this point, so you got to just do what you got to do to keep playing this deck. Other 3 ofs, Triple Scam, Triple Farfa. Scam's obviously here to keep our hand full, because it gets us a tour guide for follow-up next turn. And I think Farfa might be the most important BA in this build, because it's another piece of removal, which going second can be very helpful. Then we have double Alich, 1 Baba, 1 Kelcab, and 1 Libich. Libich is played because he gives me an extra monster on field if I got a non-BA, which would help me like Link Extend. Kelcab is just another name, not really much to say about that. Baba is burn, so it's good in time. And the 2 Aliches, I still play Purple Dante, so their interaction, if he comes on the field, and I think these are out of the big 4, this is probably the next best Burning Abyss, which I was playing 2 of. Next we have our board breakers, because this is a high going second deck. So the only hand trap in this deck is Nibiru. It's the best out to Kashtira, which is the worst matchup for this deck right now. It outs anything but Sprite. And yes, a miracle happened. I did not draw this against Sprite for once. Anyway, carrying on with that. 3 Lava Golem. Honestly, this is probably the best board breaker in the deck because it's the easiest to out. It doesn't lock you out if you're anything but your normal summon, which isn't really that big a deal. And it can get over Sprite. Next up, Triple Dark Ruler. Again, this helps you break a fully established board. It does mean you can't OTK, which isn't very likely in this deck, but it can possibly happen. But it's still a really powerful board breaker. Next, we have the best in the BA specifically, Triple Droplet. I borrowed the 3rd from a friend. So this is you discard a number of cards and negate the effect of that many monsters at half their points. So as you can imagine, all of that is insane in BA. You're scanning cards, so you get a bunch of BA triggers. You're having the points, which means the BAs, which are not that big, can easily beat over them. So yeah, this card is probably the best card in this deck. I'll definitely be getting 3 at some point. Next up, the final board breaker is evenly matched. Best one to go second if you don't want to make a Zeus, or if you're going late game and your Zeus has already been used up. Although I think in the future I would probably side these and main Lightning Storm instead, because again these do kind of conflict with the Zeus a little bit. And I think Zeus in most situations is better in this deck, because setting 2 materials usually means 2 Dante effects. And finally for the main, 1 Foolish and 1 Call By. Foolish is just another BA name, and Call By stops, if someone is playing an Ash, this can get around that, gets around Veilers, all that stuff. So yeah, that wasn't too special, but let's go on to the extra deck. So starting off with our BAs, we have 1 Cherubini, Triple Dante, one Beatrice, and one purple. Actually, we're going to say purple for a second, because he's the reason I wanted to make this deck's profile. So I played 3 Dantes, mostly because I had built this deck in a bit of a hurry. In reality, this probably should be 2 Dantes, and this should be a Mech Knight Avamax. But yeah, Dante they recycle materials. I've got two XCs that can be made with 2 of these. So it makes those monsters massive pluses, because it gives you 2 cards back when you use their effects. Beatrice is still the best card in this deck, period, because she can send any BA to the grave, activate their effects. She floats into an untargetable 2800 monster that can trigger any BA effect. She's just great. And of course, Cherubini, great starter, great way to get back in the game if you're behind. I wouldn't say it's as powerful as the other BAs personally, because honestly, there's some boards you just want to make a Dante and set it going first, but it's still a pretty good card. So yeah, and Purple Dante, I'll talk about him more in a second, but basically he's untargetable, he's 2800, and you can discard a BA to draw a card for either player's turn. So he's Disruption, he's Revival, he's pretty much everything in one card. Outside of that, the XCs, we have one Downed and one Zeus. We have a second Zeus, but I borrowed it from a friend. So he had to double Zeus because 1, Kashira is still a thing, and 2, this deck really wants to break boards as much as it can, because it's not going to win in one shot usually. So double Zeus can sometimes be really powerful in that situation. Final XCs, we have the Utopia. This is, if we are forced to go first, we just make this with 2 Dantes hopefully. So that means we get negations, steals, and searches. Like I said, I should have been playing Avamax in retrospect, because this person Avamax with AP protection is very difficult to out going first. And for the links, Muckracker for link climbing, IP Unicorn for disruption, and another going second staple ball sword. So we're going to get to the side deck, and I'm going to show you why I wanted to make this deck profile. So first up, we got back row hate. This is for Labyrinth. It's here in the Cashdira back row. A lot of the sprite decks are playing more back row these days in my locals. I think in retrospect I probably would have cut a Twister and put something else. I think this much back row hate was a bit overkill, but it did come up sometimes. We'll get to this in a second. Double Lightning Storm, I haven't got a third yet. Again, more board breakers, another Harpy Duster effect if necessary. My only going first side deck, D-Barrier, you've heard me talk about this a million times. Stop Shutdown Branded, Sword Soul, makes Sprite a lot harder to play, and makes Cashdira a lot worse. It's just one of the best going first traps in the game. Double Lancia, because Flaunderies is still at my locals, Cashdira bashes a lot, and you just don't want, if someone macros or something like that, your BAs, you're dead pretty much. Now for the really spicy attack. Super Poly and Slime Venom for the target. But you know what? Who cares about this guy? You know what this guy does. No, the reason I wanted to talk about this card, I think I made BA history. Because round 2, I was in a BA mirror match. I went second. They ended their turn with 3 BAs on the board. So yes, I actually fusion summoned Purple Dante yesterday. Greatest moment of my entire life playing BA. I actually lost that game but won the match. But you know what? I don't care. We made Purple Dante the hard way. That is a win in my book. And that's the only reason I wanted to make this deck profile, was just to brag about that. So yeah, that's my hard going second BA. It's not really anything that special. It's just the Zodiac deck with BA instead as the Zeus engine. But it was a lot of fun to play, and just getting this out with an actual fusion spell is just an amazing moment in my life as a BA player. So that's all there is for tonight, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.